Okay, on today's list, we gonna give the monster some food. My monster is made out of rye flour. Aka monster is sourdough starter. So what I usually do, I put the jar on it, I zero it, and then I add 70 milliliters of water. Warmed up. Preferable, not cold out of the fridge, it's filtered water. And doesn't matter, it says 73, but that's totally fine. I'm not very picky about the accurate number. And then I mix that up. So it's kind of like a smooth consistency. If you could smell through a video, you would smell the fermentation of the starter. I took it out this morning from the fridge where it was probably almost 2 weeks in without getting fat for me, so I don't know, it survives. I'm surprised, but knock on wood, that actually works. So now we get kind of very watery consistency. It's kind of hard to see. Let me put that back on the scale and zero it again. And we gonna add now my rye flour. It comes from a German import store, so it is actually from Germany. Roggenmehl, that means rye flour. And we're gonna add 70 grams of flour. And like I said, if it is 71, 72, it doesn't matter. I kind of try to do the same amount of water to flour. Okay, there we go. Perfect, 72, that works for me. And now I'm going to take that off and mix it all in. Try not to get too much flour on the sides of the jar. And while mixing it, you can feel how it gets more like a dough consistency. Really trying to get into the bottom corner or edge or whatever you want to call it, groove, to get the watery parts out and really fully mix it up. And then that's about it. There you can see it. I'll really scrape it off to have it all in there. And that's the Hungry Monster Fit. With this jar, I took actually the sealing rubber out because it needs some air. But that's basically what it is. And now we'll leave it in room temperature, which can really vary here in the trailer. Right now we have 23 degrees. So let's see how that goes. But if it's warmer, it's going more. By the way, that's me. I really have to get down there, hey? For the people that don't know me, I'm Jenny from Jenny's Arts and Crafts and Bakery, I should add. I really like baking my own bread, and like I showed you in the first video, that was my sourdough starter. I started in November last year and it's still surviving, no troubles. So now what I did with some excess sourdough starter was I was drying it, so potentially to ship it. So that will be now the first attempt to rehydrate and activate it again. So got an empty jar, and now we gonna add not much, really, just like gonna go with 20 grams. So this comes from my sourdough starter, which is made out of rye flour. Now I know not everyone has the opportunity to get the actual German rye flour. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually just going to do 15 grams because I don't need that much, just for purposes to show you guys and myself that it hopefully works to activate this guy. So I've got now 15 grams in there, and I'm gonna add 15 milliliters of water. Again, I warmed it up a little bit. There we go. And now we're gonna mix that. I can tell you guys, I definitely need to add more water. Let's do 20 milliliters. Mix it up. Really cover all the little chips. So you might be able to see there. It's really not a thing where I go big by accurate numbers. So we basically let this now sit, and hopefully it all dissolves. I'm honestly not sure if I should maybe add a little bit more water. I would say I do 15 grams of starter and 30 milliliters of water and see what that does. And again, it kind of needs to have some air, so that's why I'm gonna put beeswax cloth on top of it. Unfortunately, I just have a giant one left, but that doesn't matter. Just put it slightly on it and leave it at room temperature, and we'll check it later. Okay, we're back to our reactivation of the dried sourdough starter. So that's how it looks right now. It's still very leaky, soft. There's still a few chunks in it, but we don't care about that too much. Just gonna add a nice teaspoonful of white flour, so all-purpose flour in it, and we're gonna mix it up. That's basically our feeding, and we're gonna try to get a nice consistency like we do have with my already activated or still active sourdough. I will show you guys a picture in a sec. Not a picture, actually. I'll show you the actual sourdough starter. So that's that. And again, we try not to make such a big mess on the walls, but that sometimes happens, and that's still okay. And I actually, hey, I found a smaller one. Put that back on. Or maybe I should give you a look. It's put that aside and leave that now for 24 hours. And this, guys, is actually a sourdough starter that I was feeding earlier. You see all the nice bubbles. It's going nicely. It's gonna be turned into some bread tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Today is day 4, so we kind of skipped day 2 and 3, but that's how it looks. Day 3 was actually good. It's bubbly already, so now we gonna add again around like 15 milliliters of water and 15 grams of flour. Mix it all up. Okay, I'm mixing it again. You actually can see how far it went up on day 3. Now we have to make sure really to get everything mixed up. And I actually hope that my jar is big enough, because if it already went up to here, it might double in size today, and day 4 is actually my ending day, because it has already a nice sourdoughy smell to it. And now we're gonna let it sit again for 24 hours. And if it actually doubles in size and bubbles nicely, I hope I will get it to show you, because I actually have to go to work. So I hope I will see it, how it is bubbled up, and can take a video of that. And other than that, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good to use already tonight, more or less, since this was just a trial and error to see if my sourdough starter dried out can be reactivated, and it can. So yeah, here we are. Gonna try to show you this now from this kind of view. I mixed it all up. You can see it's starting to bubble again, and now we're gonna put 15 milliliters of water in. If it's 20, it's fine. We're just gonna add another 20 grams of flour, because that's basically what you need to keep in mind, that you kind of do equal parts of each of it. So before I'm gonna add the flour, I always have to stir it up. Which is actually not that easy to do with one hand if I have to hold the camera with the other. Might actually have to set the camera down. You're gonna get to see me for a sec. Oh, only a crooked. There we go. Hi, folks. In terms of the water, which it says it's supposed to be lukewarm, I feel like I'm always making it warmer than lukewarm, which in my eyes hasn't hurt the starter at all. Okay, so now we're gonna add the flour. There we go, 22 grams of flour. And then we're gonna mix it all up again. What I did before I actually started, because it was rising so much and I wasn't here to scrape down the sides, they dried out a little bit. I scraped that off before I started adding new water and flour. So you have to keep in mind to either switch it into a different jar, which would be now the case anyway, because we reactivated it, and you should put it in a bigger jar, but I don't need another sourdough starter. I don't have the room for more. So that's why I'm not going to keep this. My idea is to use this all for buns today. And yeah, you can kind of see the consistency. That's how it should be. Yeah, I'm not really good in having the camera in a good position that you either can see me or the dough. Here we go. There it is. I'm gonna scrape that off. And that's about it. Cover it up again. Not airtight. And we're good. There's our little update. You can see it nicely bubbled up. We're basically at the line from the last stuff. And you can see those bubbles right there. Oh, that's perfect.